The leaves are starting to fall, and I just cleaned out this driveway half an hour ago, and the leaves are coming back, and they will be back for many days until all the leaves are gone. I usually like to clean it at least once a day so I don't have a lot of leaves. It doesn't bother other people, but I would like to keep the driveway clean. The problem with these leaf blowers are almost always the primer bulb or the fuel line. Usually the spark plugs, they don't go bad, and you don't really have to do much with them. After a while, the fuel filter in there will come apart because the fuel line will disintegrate. So you have to replace the fuel line. The last time it happened to me, I went to buy a fuel line kit. Unfortunately, what was in the kit didn't seem to fit my leaf blower, so that was a pain. And what I did was a quick fix. I wouldn't do this if you can find the right diameter fuel line. What I did was I just cut off part of the old fuel line, the part that was bad, and then I used the new fuel line and I slip it over the old one, and then I run the new fuel line into the gas tank, and that was it. Because otherwise you would have to cut out your fuel line and bring it to the store and try to find the right size fuel line. It worked for me. I wouldn't recommend it because that's not the right way to do it. It's been a few years since I replaced this, so it's still good. Replacing the primer bulb is just as easy. You just unbolt. There are two screws here. You can use like a Torx screwdriver, or in this case you can also use a slotted screwdriver. Just unbolt the two screws and you would have access to the carburetor in there. Just be careful when you unbolt these two screws. When you take this out, you're actually taking apart the carburetor, so you have to be careful. Just try to remember the sequence or how the carburetor is actually assembled. Especially if you're taking the diaphragm apart, you have to remember which side the diaphragm is up or down. So if you were to replace them, you don't put them in the wrong place. The spark plugs are a couple of dollars, and like I said, they last forever. Most times you don't have to replace them. I've had this one for at least 6-7 years, so no problem so far. It's very easy to assemble the vacuum back into the leaf vacuum blower. This would be the part that will be sucking up the leaves. So that's it. I usually have no problem starting the vacuum. If you are starting it cold, set the choke to full choke, and the throttle you set it to fast. But since I started it once already, so I'm gonna just set it to half choke and to about medium speed. So it seems to start starts okay. It started with one pull because I started it before. Usually it would take you maybe a couple of pulls if you have the throttle and the choke in the right position. So running good.